So my question today, and this is one that we haven't had a chance to ask yet, solely because, we were off last week. I only did a show on Monday. Why isn't any progressive running against Nancy Pelosi? And when I ask this question, I want you guys to answer from speculation of what your thoughts are on the inside. You don't need to virtue signal and be like, well, I would, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this isn't, that's a boring answer. It doesn't help. Why isn't a progressive running against Nancy Pelosi? She has an incredibly low approval rating amidst Democrats, amidst everyone. She is harmful to the party. She has oversaw catastrophic losses. Why isn't a progressive running against her? Why? I mean, instead, we're in this situation where people's arms are being twisted because the only options against her are to her right, which is impressive. Impressive is one way to put it. It's amazing. And the Blue Dog Dems, now a bunch of Blue Dog Dems, who are even worse than Nancy Pelosi, who are even to the right of her, they're threatening not to support her. And they have some leverage because they'll go over to the Republicans. They don't care. They'd be happy to just go over to the Republicans and side with the Republicans and throw Nancy Pelosi under the bus. But the progressives, well, their arms are being twisted because they're saying, where else are you going to go? This is another, for instance, even on the inside, if you're a progressive in the Democratic Party, they'll twist your arm because you either take our right-wing choice or you get a Republican. Where else are you going to go? So my answer to the question, well, we got to do it ourselves. We're going to run someone, progressives have got to get their own person. My answer to that question, and I'm talking strictly from this is what I think's going on the inside, they either don't or don't think they got the numbers. I really do think that the inside of the machine, known as our electoral politics, are more sinister than we realize. I firmly believe that. I'm basing it on what limited experience I've had. And I've been to some meetings. I've been to some dinner parties that have made my stomach turn. Not because of the food, but because of what really went on there, because of the discussions that really went on there. I've had some peeks under the hood at the Democratic establishment, and that's why I feel the way I do. It's not because... So anyway, I think that it's because they don't have the numbers to beat her. So they're just recognizing the horrible situation that they're in. Let me see what you guys are saying. Nancy is a master politician with carrots and sticks. She's good at raising money, and she does it in a very unethical way, and nobody cares. Jordan echoes, probably because none of them think they can win. Google points out pretty early to throw in support so soon. Well, and they didn't get anything in return either. That's apparently they got some committee appointments in return, which is no policy commitment. It'd be one thing, we could be having a different conversation if she made the commitment of Medicare for all. That'd be a different conversation. But she didn't, and she's not going to. In fact, she's promised pay-go, which means that you don't fund any program unless you grab the money for it first. So that's the opposite of getting Medicare for all. So Karen says Barbara Lee would be great. I agree, but it's not going to happen. Indeed, it's not. And Slow News Day echoes, committee appointments mean nothing when pay-go and no new taxes on the lower 80% are implemented. Absolutely. Progressive committee, can we have Medicare for all? Speaker Pelosi, no. What will happen? Yeah, Chris is right. Edwin points out Canova and Jaffe showed it's rigged. Celeste points out no one will go up against her. Jeffrey, Pelosi is no longer acceptable to me as a speaker. Yeah, me too. Pam is saying we got to get a Labor Party, and a real Labor Party. Pam, say hi to Manchester for me. I tell Manchester that I've been thinking about them a lot ever since I left. And man, it's such a big crush. Such a big crush. Now, when you have a crush on a city, it's much different than a crush on a person, right? I'm an engaged man. But my love affair with Manchester is much different. In fact, my fiance shares my love affair with Manchester, but I think I'm a little more into it than she is. Maybe. I don't know. She really dug it, but I really gushed about Manchester. Almost every day I'm like, Manchester, it's just like, can we send them a card? And she's like, calm down. That's what happens. Any chance you can get Andrew Yang on the show? I'd love to get Andrew Yang on the show, Jordan. Pasta, if you're watching, Andrew Yang, get him. And Slow News Day is asking you all to give me a like, which I appreciate. Slow News Day, follow Slow News Day's example. Throw this a like. Would ya? Would it kill ya? Throw it a like. Come on. Larry, if they lose, they get nothing. If you get committee appointments, you can be involved in shaping how policy is made. If they are on the Rules Committee, they can shape how votes go. I guess we'll see. But with all the promises Pelosi has made so far, progressives don't have a seat at the table. A bipartisan marketplace of ideas, meeting Trump midway, pay-go, and, all the tax rules. That's what Pelosi has promised so far. That's just a fact. Like, that's what she's promised so far. That doesn't get us anything for progressive change. And you can't help but feel like, with how grossly unpopular she is, why doesn't a progressive go up against her? And my answer to that question, they don't have the numbers. Or at least they're convinced they don't have a number. Because, again, this is going on the inside. We don't get a say in this. And when I say we, I mean me, the people. This is what's going on the inside. And I'm confident it's way worse than we realize. And as the show goes on, I've told you guys more about my speak under the hood. Statutory echoes that they don't have the numbers. And that's just what we're dealing with. Jordan points out it doesn't matter how unpopular she is, as long as the donors want her. And Bailey, I'm glad you got your tickets for January 10th, and I can't wait to see you there. Guys, now more than ever, and we'll move on because we got a lot to talk about today. It seems like we're all kind of in unison that it's like, well, they just don't have the numbers. And that's why no one's running. Just a normal average guy. How can they not have the numbers against a woman with a 28% approval rating? Because this is something they decide. This isn't something that, this is something that goes on within the House, behind closed doors. So, it's not like they can show up with a bunch of citizens. This is a behind closed doors thing. In the behind closed doors manner, they don't have the numbers. As far as public opinion goes, yeah, we do have the numbers. I believe that. I believe we have the numbers. I firmly believe that the two right-wing parties that we have in this country, just a normal average guy, I'm assuming they care about what their constituents think. They don't. I appreciate you saying that. They don't. Some of the progressives do. At least I believe that. I believe the progressives do. But the people that are just going to lock in line with Pelosi, the establishment, or the Blue Dog Dems that are willing to go over to the Republicans, they don't care. They really don't. So I think that's where we're at. I think the progressives don't have the numbers. That's just the reality. And this is just why it's such a horrible situation, because I really wish we would have started a new party when we had the chance. I really wish we would have. It's like, well, that's really hard. Yeah, it is really hard. That's going to take time. Yeah, but this is taking a lot of time, and we only have so much of it. We only got so much.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your